Hey, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. It's Harry from Hasbro TV back on a match reaction video. Tottenham 1, West Ham 2. Scoreline I was not really expecting. It's still a possibility, but I wasn't really expecting to be uttering this afternoon or this evening. But let's get into the game. First of all, just a quick note, the protest happened today. It wasn't really enough of us, only like 100, 200 people at most. And considering the state the club is in, and the amount of people I speak that complain, especially on the bus, I expect to see more people. Because right now, the way the club's run, we could be going down in a few years. The way it's going, barring a miracle or some stroke of luck, we're in massive trouble. But let's talk about the game itself first, before we get into specifics. So first, the starting lineup. Conor Gallagher make his first start for Spurs. Let's go from the back though. Vicario, still starting games. Davies left back. Porro right back. Doesn't seem to get any sort of rest or any... We don't play Spencer right back really. Van der Ven and Romero. So kind of like the usual back four. Gallagher played with Gray. Unfortunately, guys, one other injury. Paulinho is injured. Contrary to the rumours that we saw earlier this week that I thought was just a rumour. It's actually true. So having the 10, we need to talk about him. Tel Nodibert, let's be frank, we had no options there. And Moani up front. Bear in mind, Solanke is still coming back from his injury. I don't think it's worth the risk. And Scarlett, well, there's rumours that he's going to be sold, and yeah, it doesn't seem to really use him that much anyway, so because he's going to be sold. So let's get into the game, really. West Ham really played like it was their cup final, and we didn't turn up like the game meant anything, especially in the first 45 minutes. West Ham could have been 2-3-0 up. Somerville, we made him look like Gareth Bale, if I'm being honest. That's the best way to sum it up. Gets the ball, roasts our team continuously. As per normal, they overload Porro's side. Despite Porro's spamming of crosses, defensively, he's still not good. People like me viewed him more as like a winger type or a wing back. He was always a wing back. But as in someone who should be playing on the wing for us, because his crossing, like I said, is his biggest, strongest suit. But in the first half, it wasn't clicking at all. And surprisingly, Bassoon was on the bench. I was quite surprised considering his exile under Frank, and I kind of thought Frank would stick with that. But I guess with the amount of injuries we have, did he have much choice? Did he have much choice? Is that where we are, where we've got bare bones and we have to put Bassoon on the bench? Because I thought we'd never play Spurs again, if I'm being honest. The second half, so 1-0 down, played really poorly in the first half. Gray gets taken off with Basuma. Some people said Gray was one of our better players in the first half. If I'm being honest, none of them were good. So, but it seemed, in the end, I thought it was a decent change because Basuma did actually affect the game. I thought he kind of did what Gray was supposed to do in the midfield the past few games he's been playing because he's not really doing much. I thought Basuma did all right in the second half. He's not the best player. And Gallagher on his debut, I think he did okay, he fought. But again, he's not played for like ages at Atletico. So we're always going to get a rusty player, I think. I didn't expect him to kind of just be brilliant. But Xavi, let's speak about him individually now. I thought he was so poor. So poor. But Spurs did start the second half with a bit more desire. Had a few shots. Basuma had a snapshot, and it was the first shot of the game, I think, for us, actually. And a few other snapshots. But we couldn't break them down. Eventually, Tel comes off for Solanke. It was nice to see Solanke on, and we went to like a 4-4-2 with Xabi going on the left wing. So, that was quite surprising because normally he shifts Moani onto the left in this scenario and puts Solanke in the middle. But it seemed like we were playing a 4-4-2. Eventually, we get the goal from a cross into Romero, heads it in. Romero, Van der Ven were both on bookings. Spence got booked because he had to come on. Source of Spence came on for Davies in the first half. He went down injured, which didn't really help because Davies has actually been quite a good player the past few games for us, surprisingly. But we just weren't great. And then we got the equaliser, and you thought, Spurs in the ascendancy would try and make something happen. But we tried and tried, but we just didn't really... I don't know, we had a few block shots. But in the end, West Ham kind of just it went 1-1, and they kind of just made sure they were in the game, right? They kind of stuck in there, and bear in mind they are away from home, so I thought that was, they defended really well, if I'm being honest. And some of it, like I said, was probably our biggest threat the whole game. And Bowen, of course, was always causing our problems. But as people may have realised, the biggest weakness for us I look at is they overload our fullback, so the wing sides when they play against, especially against Porro. We've known that as an issue for years. But they overload, like the goal, you could see it coming. I could see the way Offside will cut in because they overloaded his Porro side again. Yeah, but in the end, we huffed and puffed and it was still 1-1. West Ham in the last 10 minutes started to play again because they kind of stifled us. And they had one chance, a great block, I don't remember who it was, but it was 2-on-1 and we just about got rid of it. And it goes for a corner. I'm not going to lie, in my head, especially with the last 2-3 minutes, I had a feeling they would score. Especially because when we had our period, we didn't score the second goal. And West Ham just have a habit of playing really well against us and getting like a really super goal. And lo and behold, we concede the goal off the corner with a massive, I don't know what happened in the box, but Vicario was shouting for something. And it went to VAR. And again, I'm not going to speak on something I didn't see. So, because at that point when the goal went in, I left. So, yeah, VAR didn't play in our favour. Again, we had a handball shout in the first half, which didn't play in our favour either. But it's not really VAR's fault. We just were poor. And the goal we conceded again, Vicario, looking at you again, just really poor off corners. I mean, the keeper needs to be a must ASAP. I don't think we're going to get him in January, though. I can't see it. Now, let's come to conclusions now and talk about Frank, because losing this game, to me, kind of spells the end for Frank. I'm someone who's been very Frank in, but after losing at home to West Ham, I don't think he has any legs to stand on. In fact, this season, we only won like 4 home games or something. And we've lost 9 games already this season. It's game week 22, so almost half. And I think Nuno, or who it was, has won 2 home games this season as much as we have since Frank's been. Anyway, but like these statistics just don't play well. And just apparently Romero was arguing with Frank after the game, which doesn't help. So like we're in big trouble. We've got Burnley next in the league, at least. We've got Dortmund in the Champions League on the Tuesday, which I'm not confident for. I'm just not confident at home against Dortmund. I know that it's not the same Dortmund as before, years and years ago under Klopp, but I'm just not confident, especially with our home form. It's just not good. And Dortmund are not. I know they're not the same team they all used to be, but they're still a really hard team to play against. So we go into that game, and I'm not really confident at all. If I'm being honest, I'm not confident. So yeah, we're probably gonna lose Dortmund, but I think Frank, he probably should get sacked tomorrow, if I'm being honest. And then I'd bring in Redknapp for interim for the rest of the season, and then just go get Poch or Glasner, or there's loads of managers available in the summer, but now is a bad time to try to put someone in, really. And I was quite surprised Chelsea went with who they went with, but there is that Strasbourg link in their case. But I think Frank probably has to go, and come on you Spurs.